Last day before we leave, I'm going to take Ruthie to Florida to see her grandmother. I still haven't finished this electric offset chicken pen. You can see I have put in some of the wires here into the insulator. And this one, they haven't been tightened up yet. They're just kind of hanging here and there. The chickens are nice and happy. Just fed them. Looks like we're going to be finishing this electric fence in the rain. Chickens still having fun with their feed. Here you can see how we started our wires. Got an insulator there. It's tied to the post with a baling twine, and then the electric wire connects to that. Then it goes through this insulator. This is kind of an interesting insulator. You have to turn the wire to get it in there, like that. And then another one down here. That's about as complicated as it gets. The rest is just a case of running the wire from one post to the next and putting it into those insulators. You can see I've done that all the way around. Just got to put in a couple of pieces of wire at the end and tighten them up, and we'll be good to go. And the chickens are still very happy about the whole situation. So happy they're pecking each other. Have some respect, chickens. Oh, we get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. You kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor. You dance in the kitchen till the morning light. A Louisiana Saturday night, but it's South Texas Saturday night. So we're going to get out the old irrigation boots. Put them on. That has to go first anytime we're working on the ranch, because they will protect us from the water. Now we're going to get on this fence here. I'm going to start by getting some wire. I had a trusty pair of pliers, lineman pliers. They work the best for working with electric fences. Pair of gloves. Once again, I'll repeat that this is why I like electric fences so much. That's pretty much all you need to work on an electric fence. So we go over here and get us a roll of wire. Okay, we got our trusty little roll of wire. This wire's probably been on 4 or 5 different ranches. We're going to take it over here and put it on this ranch. I'm going to start right here. We're going to connect it up. So I'm going to need 2 insulators and some baling twine. Let's go get that. I'll get us a little bit of baling twine here. Cut that off. So there we are. Have our insulators on a string. You may ask, why are they tied together? Well, I'll show you in a minute. So what we're going to do now is cut them apart with a knife. And there we go. 2 different pieces. Okay, we're tied on. and ready to go, all we gotta do is slip some wire in there. So we get our wire, we run it through the insulator. See how that goes? We get a nice tail out there. Bend it around and wrap it. You can see how I've wrapped that. And we're just going to run it along the fence here. Hook it onto the insulators. We're going to hook it onto the insulators. You just go in like that, and set it on there, and you're ready to go. Okay, so we're going to take this end and hook it to this end. First, we'll get this off of here. That's just been sitting there for the night. And we're going to put the two together and bend them. I don't think I can show you that. I need both hands. So see, I hold it with the pliers like that while I wrap the wire around. And just a turn is all that you really need to start. We'll come back later and we'll put all the turns on there. And that's it. Oh, its wire is hanging in place. Okay, we're closing in on the end of this job. Okay, so we take this little spool. We take this little spool, we take the lock out. See, the spool has a slot on one side. You put the wire in the slot and you just twist it. And we use the tool for that. You can see I got the tool inserted. The wire is inserted in the spool, and the tool has a little hook on the other end to hook over the wire. From there, let me see how I'm going to, you just jack this guy up and press it down and it spins the spool. I'm going to spin it like this because actually my tool's broken. And when you get finished, that's what it looks like. You can see that the wire is twisted up on there, and then that the lock is holding it in place on both sides. And we remove the tool. Now that sits on the fence like that and keeps it tight. See how tight that wire is? See how tight that wire is? And here's the solar powered unit that we're going to use. You see it has two connectors here, one for the ground and one for the hot. The hot will go to the fence. It says fence right there. And here it says earth, ground. We'll just clip that to a T-post. There's the solar panel that keeps it charged. There's a battery inside of it. And I'll show you how we're going to hook that up. I got to make the connectors. Okay, we got it hung. You can see I just tied it on with a piece of baling string. I keep wanting to call that wire because in the old days that's how they baled hay, with wires, but not anymore. I'm going to get a couple of zip ties and strap around it for extra security. Now you can see we got our electric wires there, those 3 wires on the right, and they run all the way down and they don't touch the fence. That way it doesn't short out. And they go all the way around. They're nice and tight. We've got the charger on there. We're about ready to hook it up. See how it works. Okay. Now we've got our leads attached. Okay, now we've got our leads attached. You can see the red, the hot here on the right. We're going to hook that to the fence. The ground here goes around to the back and attaches to the T-post just to give us a ground. Now you might be asking yourself, why all this watto for to try and keep chickens in? Well, I think I forgot to mention, this is not about keeping the chickens in, it's about keeping the cows out, because they want that grass that's in there, and they're going to try tear down the fence to get to it, and they've done it before. So this should stop them. Okay, one small issue. This is the hot. We connect it up to the hot wire, and we have electricity to the fence. The only thing is, this wire is not connected to this wire, and that wire is not connected to this wire. So these two wires at the bottom will both be dead. So what we got to do is jumper them together. Now you can buy an expensive jumper wire for 20 bucks. It's basically a wire with these alligator clips on each end. Or you can do what I do, just take a spare piece of aluminum wire and wire it all together. I'll show you. There's an old piece of wire that ought to do the trick. We'll just bend that out and wrap it around here, and then down there and down there. And there's our first wrap. And then we're going to take this down here and wrap it to this one. And then we'll take the rest of it and wrap it to this one. And then everything will be connected together. So all three wires will be hot. Okay, you can see I put one of those jumper wires on here. Jumper these three together. This is at the very end of the fence. You put one at the beginning and one at the end, and it raises the voltage in the fence. So it's supposed to make it work better. Now we can hook this to the fence. I'm gonna go around this way, and I'm gonna hook it up. I'm gonna hook it here. This isn't really the right kind of clip for this, but I'm waiting for the local farm and ranch supply to get the right ones for me. Meanwhile, this will do. We're all hooked up and ready to go. Time to turn it on. Take off the safety tape that says stop. Charge in sunlight for 3 days before turning on the unit. Oh boy, I didn't know that.